Hey everyone, my name is Manaka97 and today I'm going to be talking about how the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 life cycle can be expanded and last a lot longer than the first Xenoverse game. Now before I start with this video, I just want to say that I do not have facts, or that I'm not saying Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 has been announced. This is purely speculation and theories on how I think the life cycle of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 can last a lot longer than the first game. And like I said before we're starting this video, I just want to say that this is speculations, theories, and my thoughts and opinions on how I think the life cycle of Xenoverse 2 can last a lot longer than the first. One thing that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 definitely needs are God transformations like in the new Dragon Ball Heroes update. And if you don't know what Dragon Ball Heroes is a Japanese exclusive card game where it gets updated every so often that I'll show on screen for you. And they always add new stuff that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 definitely needs, like God transformations as I mentioned before. And this God transformation isn't exclusive to Saiyans. A lot of races in Dragon Ball Heroes, which needs to be put in Xenoverse, have different transformations and different God forms. Mechians, Frieza, Majin Boos, they all have God transformations and different transformations in general, which is something we never really got in Xenoverse besides from the Saiyans. And even when the Saiyans did have transformations, their hair would never change. Like you could have Super Saiyan 2 and the hair would still look the same from Super Saiyan 1, besides from your ki being more relentless or wasting your ki even more with Saiyan 2 hair transformation. But what I'm saying is that the God transformation needs to be implemented, and not only the God transformation, but the characters from Dragon Ball Heroes need to be put in there, like the android, the cyborg, and the cell race as well. And if you don't know, there is a difference between androids and cyborgs, which I'll get into the next part after this one. But what I'm saying is that there needs to be a God transformation. And also, speaking of the God transformations, there needs to be variety in the difference between going Super Saiyan and going Super Saiyan God. Like the aura needs to be red, the hair needs to be different. It shouldn't just be the same cut and paste, copy cutter, same thing. Rather, if you just because you change the numbers of the transformations from Super Saiyan 1 to Super Saiyan 2, and I understand, and don't get me wrong, I am giving the creators of Xenoverse a break because they had to start this game off from scratch. They didn't have a skeleton where they could bounce off of ideas or have something as a backup. No, they literally didn't have a skeleton. They had to start this game from scratch. So for those people who think I'm being too hard on them or the creators of Xenoverse, I'm not. I'm totally giving them a pass from Xenoverse 1 because they literally had to start everything from the ground up without having something to lean on. The next thing I want to talk about is the classes and the customization. Now what I mean by classes, I mean by adding in the biological cell race and the cyborg race. And there's a difference between cyborg and androids. The cyborgs are, of course, in America, what we call Android 17 and 18, but the actual androids are like the trucker android or the android that look purple with the afro hair. Android 17 and 18 are actual names are called Cyborg 17 and 18. They're not androids, they're called cyborgs. So if you hear me say cyborgs instead of android, because they're two separate races, and not only that, their real names are Cyborg 17 and 18, not Android 17 and 18. And I want to bring this up because if you look on my screen right now on YouTube, the Android class looks so amazing and beautiful. And I'm sorry I said Android, I meant to say Cyborg, but the Cyborg class looks so amazing and beautiful, and I would love to be able to play with different classes. So we really don't need human classes since we didn't get a chance to get, like, for example, Gohan's tap potential. Like, humans couldn't really get that, nor did it look different. It was just a buff transformation. And I would love to have, like I said before, these God transformations and all these different types of races other than what we got in Xenoverse 1. And like I said before, I'm not harping on the people who made Xenoverse 1. What I'm just saying is if you could just take your time, maybe take a couple of years off just to include the stuff that's in Dragon Ball Heroes. I'm not saying put everything in Dragon Ball Heroes into Xenoverse 2 because it's not Xenoverse 2, and I do understand that. But what I'm saying is just implement or just add in things from Dragon Ball Heroes if you guys could to Xenoverse 2, because it would make a huge difference, and the playtime and the replayability would be a lot more longer than, let's say, the first game. And if these classes like the cyborg race, the android race, the biological android race, which is Cell, because biological android, which what Cell is just a cell race. This is not perfect Cell, it's biological android, which is what Cell is. If that was implemented in the Xenoverse 2, it would just be a whole lot better and also last longer. And speaking of customization, I would love to have more customization options in Xenoverse 2 than in the first game, because in the first game, most if not all the characters look the same. Besides from changing the hair and their face, they mostly either look like Bulma, Chi-Chi, and I'm just naming off the female characters. They mostly just look the same. Rather, if you were a Saiyan or a human, and even the other classes or races, they still look the same no matter what you change, no matter what you did. And I would love to have more emphasis and more focus and like options when it comes to the customization, like dimples or freckles or different hairstyles, rather if you go Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan God or not. And speaking of Super Saiyan God again, and I'm sorry, and I know I touched this topic before, but the Super Saiyan God transformation should change everything about the facial and the hair particles of the character. Like everything should be smooth, sleek, it should be thin, and this should be a lot more different than from the other transformation transformations, if we even get a Super Saiyan God transformation in Xenoverse 2, but I would just love to have more character customization options like dimples, add in freckles, or different faces, just not have it look the same as every other races. And like I said before, human race and Saiyan race, while their abilities are different, they mostly just look the same, and if not look the same, then they look the same from other characters in the show like Bulma, Chi-Chi, and this is from the females again before, but they mostly just look the same. And I would love to have more customization options, and with the customization option, have the Saiyan transformations be different between and depending on what you choose for the customization, so have the transformations different from the customization as well, and mix it in together, if that makes any sense. Now another thing that I want to mention is that I think the creators of Dragon Ball Xenoverse should wait 3 to 4 years to make this game, and the reason why I'm saying that is because of Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super is going on, and if they want to make this game between Dragon Ball Super, then people are going to look back at Xenoverse 2 and Super and be like, well, why aren't these characters in Super in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2? And I think they should either wait 3 to 4 years to make this game, or wait until Super finishes and imply those characters in the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 like Dragon Ball Heroes is doing. Now I'm not saying, you know, oh, they should take all this time and just wait until the show is finished. If they want to imply these characters or add these characters in Xenoverse 2 while the show is going on at the same time, that's fine, but it would just make much more sense is to wait until Super is over, let's per se, and just add them in there, because if you make this game while Super is still continuing, then there's going to be missed characters and not stuff added in while the development of this game is still going on. So you either wait a couple years, like 3 or 4 years, like I said before, to make this game, or you wait until Super is over entirely and then make this game and imply those characters in Dragon Ball Super, which is the show, and imply those and add those characters in the Xenoverse 2. Now, I know I say wait 3 to 4 years, which is kind of ridiculous, but if anything, I just say wait until Dragon Ball Super is finished and then make Xenoverse 2 and just add all those characters in Xenoverse 2, because in actuality, let's say if you watch something like Naruto, you would go back and forth between a game that has come out now and you would look at the show and see it keeps on continuing and adding in abilities and new characters, and you would wish you would be able to play as that type of stuff, but you just have to wait until the next installment. That's why it would be perfect and a smart idea for the Xenoverse people just to wait, and let's say just wait until Super is over to imply and add those characters in the game, if anything. But what I'm trying to say is that either wait a couple years until Super is over, or just wait years entirely until you have all your stuff and research together to make this the perfect game and the perfect sequel from the original. One thing that I would love to see in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is no more RNG and no more loot drops, and what I mean by this is that you would do a mission flawlessly or perfect and you still wouldn't get the items or the clothing that you wanted for your characters. And what I mean by this is, like, for example, I did the Lord Beerus mission where I wanted to get his clothing and everything, and all I got was the Harriet Tubman 12s or the Jerusalem 12 shoes that Lord Beerus wears, and I couldn't get the rest of the part of the clothing. And that's another thing too, when it comes to the clothing, at least if we implement this in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, please don't just sell it off as separately. Please sell it as all one thing, all one part of the clothing, because it is annoying and it's just tedious to do the same mission over and over to get a certain part of clothing for that character that you want. Not even at that, you may just get the same item or just an ability or not even the thing that you want from the mission. And that's another thing too, that some people don't have PlayStation Plus, so most of the people like me that's going to be playing the offline mode is going to be not interacting with multiple players. And I've experienced this, is that if you play online with multiplayer, you're able to get more items playing the online feature than the offline feature. And like I said before, just don't make this a habit. Don't add RNG or random loot drops, because it just becomes tedious and people just stop playing the game. And I know somebody's going to say, well, if they didn't add the RNG, then you would basically have everything handed to you. And I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that just don't make it a chore or like a 99% chance that you could get whatever item or clothing that you want. I just don't want this implemented again, because it's more of a chore and a hassle to do these missions than it was fun. And another thing that I don't want is to find my trainer to teach me another ability. Finding trainers was extremely annoying because they weren't spread around in certain sections. They were just either if they're there, they're there. If they're not there, then you can't find them. And you have to restart your game, or you just have to do a mission and back out of it. And you can find videos on this on how to find certain trainers in Xenoverse. And this is a chore. It's a hassle. It's not fun to do, especially when you can't find your trainer, or just the RNG of your trainer that you're trying to find is just not available. If you would spread out the trainers and maybe in all around the map, then I have no problem with this. Like, okay, I have to walk through the section to talk to this trainer because he's not in front of me, that's fine. But when they just don't appear in general, especially you can only get the 2 to 3 trainers to appear on the map or like the hub world, then that's especially annoying. If they can just appear in certain sections of the hub world, that's fine. But when they just don't appear at all, like some RNG loot like in the missions, then that's extremely annoying. And I just don't want RNG or random loot drops in Xenoverse 2. This is a hassle, it's tedious, and it definitely separates the fun from the game when I just have to do random RNG drops or random RNG missions to get the item or the clothing that I need to get. And before I end this video, I just want to say that I do not hate nor dislike the people who made Xenoverse 1, but something that I will say is that if any of these things that I mentioned aren't featured in Xenoverse 2, even just slightly featured in Xenoverse 2, like the customization, that should be okay or just fine to somewhat handle. And I don't see Xenoverse 2 lasting as long as the first game, and I'm not saying that I hate Xenoverse or Xenoverse is a bad game, but what I'm saying is that all these new features that the Japanese exclusive card game Dragon Ball Heroes is getting, if people see that and then see Xenoverse 2, they're basically saying, well, I'm not really getting much from Xenoverse 2, and you have Dragon Ball Heroes that have all this amazing stuff. If they're not implementing the slight, if they're not implementing even some of the things in Dragon Ball Heroes, then I don't see Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 lasting as long as the first game. I gave the first game a pass, and I really do like the first game because, you know, they started from the ground up. They didn't have a skeleton to work off of, and not only that, like I said, they started from the ground up, and they were just basically starting everything from scratch. So not only do I give them a pass, but they have my respect. I'm starting a brand new game and basically something that sold really well. I bought the game day one. I definitely commend them and I applaud them for that, for making a game from the ground up and making a Dragon Ball Z game different from any of the other ones. But if Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 doesn't have different classes or just a lot more, just a list of full of customization options, if Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 doesn't have a list of customization options, different classes, transformations that actually change and that are different, I don't see Xenoverse 2 lasting as long as the first game, like I mentioned before, or just lasting long at all. I see Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, if it's just going to be the same thing as the first game, being like Naruto Storm 4, where people are going to play it after 2 to 3 weeks, they're just going to be like, well, this game is dead, I'm just waiting for something else to come out. I don't see Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 lasting long if they don't add the elements from Dragon Ball Heroes. And I'm not saying that Xenoverse 2 needs to be Dragon Ball Heroes, I'm not saying that at all. Dragon Ball Xenoverse is its own thing, and I'm proud and glad that we have our own thing. But what I'm saying is that if it doesn't implement things from Heroes or even things from Super, like I said in this video before, if they don't add the characters from Super or add in anything Dragon Ball Heroes, then I don't see Xenoverse 2 lasting really long, and I don't see Xenoverse 2 even lasting as long as the first game. But if anything, I love the creators of Xenoverse and I love what you guys are doing, and I've met my points and my annoyances from the first game. But if anything, I would just say just add in or just feature the stuff from Dragon Ball Heroes, which is the Japanese card game, in the Xenoverse 2. And if they can't even slightly or just somewhat add in things from Heroes, and I don't see this game lasting any long, especially if they add in stuff from Super. But anyway, thank you guys for watching my videos. If you want to keep up to date with me and the stuff that I do, please follow my Twitter and Tumblr in the description below. Also, if you can leave me a like as well, because it really does help me out a lot. And also, it has YouTube notice me not only as a content creator, but as a YouTube on their site in general. If you could just leave me a like, and I would really appreciate it, because it really helps me out. And besides from what other content creator says that, oh, if you become a YouTube Red member, it helps out content creators. No, if you just leave your favorite YouTuber a like and whatnot, then it definitely helps them out. That's enough of help that you need to give them. You watch their videos and you leave them a like. You don't have to pay a monthly subscription for anything to support your YouTuber, especially if you leave a like and watch their videos, and that's all you need. But if you could just leave a like for me with my videos and this video in general, then I would really appreciate it. And I do appreciate you watching my videos and the stuff that I do. And again, I do have a Twitter and a Tumblr in the description below, and I also have a second account called Manako97 Anime Reviews, where I'm going to be reviewing animes, doing anime topics, theories, discussions, and I'm also going to be talking about cartoons on my anime account too, such as Gravity Falls, Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Steven Universe content, and there's multiple cartoons and animes and this other stuff that I like on my anime channel, especially movies. So if you can please like my videos, and not only that, just like this video in general, then I would really appreciate it, and I'll have YouTube see me as a YouTuber and as a content creator in general on their websites. And I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys just watching my videos in general. But anyway, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my stuff. Thank you so much for just watching my videos. I really appreciate it and can't ask for anything else. But anyway, thank you guys for watching my stuff, and all my social media page will be in the descriptions below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.